video, I'm going to talk about why bikers suck. Guys, if you are new here, my name is Jess, aka Her Two Wheels, and let me give you a quick little backstory. 7 years ago in 2015, I had just gotten married. I just turned 26. I was having literally the best year of my life, and on an absolute whim, I had a family member ask me if I wanted to learn how to ride motorcycles. I said, no, absolutely not. That's stupid. I want nothing to do with motorcycles. I was never raised on a motorcycle. No one in my family ever rode motorcycles. I never rode on the back of a motorcycle. I genuinely just didn't care about motorcycles at all. I didn't care for the culture. I didn't care for the people. I didn't care for the assholes that I saw on the road every day. So I was like, have fun with that. I'm good. Long story short, she convinced me, and I ended up absolutely falling in love with the sport. It has quite literally changed my life. You have to remember that when I'm talking to you about these things, because I didn't grow up in the culture that is biker, you know? I didn't come from a history of my grandpa's grandpa rode a Harley Davidson back in like the 1920s. Like, that's not how this is for me. Motorcycling is new for me. I learn something new about it every single day. And the one thing that unfortunately outshines a lot of positive is the negative. And so I'm going to go ahead and explain to you guys in this video what I mean about that. Now, disclaimer, take everything I say with a grain of salt, because you know, and I know, and everyone knows, the best part about motorcycling is the people, hands down. It's also potentially the worst part about motorcycling, so there's a double-edged sword to every conversation. Now, what got me thinking about this? Typically, I'm pretty good at ignoring the bullshit, ignoring the trolls, ignoring the incredibly opinionated people in all aspects of life, not just having to do with motorcycles. But I will say, I posted a video a couple weeks ago where I rode my beautiful 2018 Harley Davidson Road Glide Special from Columbus, Ohio to Orlando, Florida, and I had the Blockhead Garage add some parts to this bike to modify it and just kind of help make it my own. That's where things started. That's where people started to show their true colors. Modifying motorcycles is a whole separate conversation in itself. We do not need to get into that in this video. But the one thing I will say is, you are damned if you do and damned if you don't. So you damn well better do whatever the you want. That is the ultimate lesson I have learned after being on YouTube. Someone is always going to hate you. And I mean hate. The amount of comments I've had from people that are just absolutely unnecessary is astounding. So I posted that video modifying my motorcycle. I absolutely adore the way the bike rides and handles currently, so it's a win-win for me. The reason I think bikers suck, this isn't a Harley Davidson thing. This isn't a sport bike versus cruiser versus ADV. That's not what this is about. This is about one person's opinion, and that person pushing their opinion on you because you do something different to what they would do. For example, I ride a cruiser. I ride a touring bike. This bike is meant for touring, and I tore the hell out of this bike. I put 20,000 miles touring on this motorcycle in 2022. So what I mean is, people are like, oh, if you wanted more power, you should have bought a Japanese bike, or you should have bought a sport bike or something. And that right there is like the one thing that will always get under my skin. Because a lot of people don't know, my very first motorcycle was a Honda. It was a Honda 600 BLX. It was a Shadow. It was a cruiser still. I wouldn't buy a sport bike because that's not my style, but I did own a Honda. And guess what? That bike was great. I had no issues with that bike other than I outgrew it. So when people are telling me like, oh, you should have bought a Japanese motorcycle, it's like, yeah, well, I did. I did. And I sold it and bought a Harley Davidson because you know why? I wanted to. So that's probably the number one argument that it just boggles my mind that people are still arguing about to this day. You know, manufacturers are doing an amazing job trying to keep up with emissions regulations and still try to create a new and exciting motorcycle for us, the consumer, every single year. Not everyone hits the nail on the head. In fact, quite a very few actually hit the nail on the head. A lot of new motorcycles that come out, I'm always like, oh man, you were so close. You were so close. But yet people still have to spend an astronomical amount of money on these motorcycles and then modify the hell out of these motorcycles to actually make it what they want. It's not the manufacturer's fault. It's because crybaby people who ride motorcycles have so many different opinions and tastes and class and income, and it's really hard to make that holy grail of a bike for a bunch of absolute crybabies. And here's the funny thing. The reason it looks like so many, and I'm like one of them actually, if you guys are new here, this is not my normal content. I genuinely always try to have a good time, an uplifting spirit. I try to stay goofy and lighthearted and just happy. And I'm actually really happy in this video because I get to ride my motorcycle in the middle of November. But I think the reason why so many people associate bikers as like borderline pretentious crybabies is because of social media. And that's really hard for me to say because I am on social media. I live on social media. And I share my life with people on social media. But how many times do you as a consumer, me, myself as well, you sit down, you want to watch a nice video, and all you see is 10 reasons why X motorcycle sucks, or 10 reasons why this company's gonna fail, or 5 reasons why everyone hates moto vloggers, blah, blah, blah. It's just, first of all, drama wins all the time. I have this conversation with my friends. I have this conversation with you guys. The reason you see very dramatic titles like the one I gave this video, for instance, unfortunately, drama wins. People want drama. They want excitement. They want something easy to talk about. And you know what's easy to talk about? Complaining. It's so easy to complain. It's so easy for your brain to get into a negative mindset. At least it is for me. I'm an incredibly pessimistic person. It's not a good quality of mine, but it's easy for me to think negative thoughts versus positive ones. And that's something I'm trying to work on. So it's really hard for newer riders or potential new riders to want to get excited about a Harley Davidson or a sport bike or any motorcycle for that matter, because they get online and they do their research, and there's always got to be those people that have to say something bad. They just have to, because they feel like they're doing you an injustice as a viewer if they don't complain about something. And I'm telling you why, because I just told you, it's easy, it's relevant, everyone can complain. And so if you have a prestigious critic online talking about, well, this bike is excellent and everything's great, but, and then immediately you're like, yeah, I knew there was something. Like, you want these people to fail. You want these motorcycles to fail. And as a new impressionable rider, that's so intimidating. It's so scary, man. And just the community in general. I have very personally witnessed a severely toxic community, unfortunately, within Harley riders. And that's one reason why I named myself Her Two Wheels and not Her Harley Davidson. You guys know I love my Harleys. I adore my motorcycles. But I am not 100% loyal to Harley Davidson because I love all motorcycles. The reason I buy Harleys is a whole separate conversation. An example, I knew a girl who just started dating this guy. And they really, really liked each other. She had come from a previous relationship where she rode on the back of her ex-boyfriend's Harleys. And that's fine. She started dating this new guy, and he did not have a Harley. He had some kind of, it wasn't a Goldwing, I think it might have been a BMW. It was a touring bike, but it was not a Harley Davidson. And in Ohio, that's pretty rare. Ohio is Harley country. And point blank, in front of me, this woman said, like, yeah, he rides too, but he's not a real man. He doesn't ride a Harley Davidson. And it looked like he had just gotten slapped in the face. And I looked like I had just gotten slapped in the face. I was like, how can you say that? to the person you're dating. Like, that is terrible to emasculate a man right in front of him and other people, and especially a woman. Like, I'm a woman who rides a Harley Davidson. I was stoked to hear about this dude's bike and hear about the places he's been. And then to have this girl just completely take that away from him, I was disgusted. It really broke my heart. Spoiler alert, they didn't end up together, but it's just, that's that kind of like culture, that toxic culture that true bikers feel obligated to share. And the reason that doesn't sit well with me is because I am not a true biker at all. This entire world is new to me. Like I said, I never grew up on motorcycles, so I don't know the culture. I don't know about the groups and the clubs and all of the tours and awards and the challenges and the cross-country travelers. I don't know about these things. I'm learning, but that's not what is important to me. What's important to me is living in the moment on these motorcycles. And that's why I started a YouTube channel, because I get to document in real time my thoughts and feelings on these bikes. I don't want this to sound negative, but I'm just kind of hoping that maybe some of you guys can agree with me or relate or potentially offer a solution. Because I will say, after the flood of comments on this video, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to respond. Most of them I just didn't respond to at all, but I just didn't know how to react to people. And like, truth be told, I don't want to deal with people like that. Sometimes if I'm not in a good mood and somebody comes out of the gate and calls me a dumbass for buying the bike I bought, I'll just block them, because I'm like, ain't nobody got time for this kind of negative attitude. And it's incomprehensible to me that somebody would actively spend their time in their life on the internet and type out a comment making someone else trying to make someone else feel stupid about something that brings them joy. So I just, like, this is an open conversation, and I'm not asking for validation or anything. It's just, it's something that has really weighed on me, and I don't know how to react to it, because I feel like my future is just, it keeps going up, man. The trajectory is up in the motorcycling world, but I keep seeing stuff like this. And now I will say, this has never happened in real life. Nobody has ever point blank come up to me and called me an idiot or a fool or a stupid biker. It's always online. So I guess that's my answer right there. It's always online. It's not real. It's fake. People just suck. But like I said, I have had those experiences in real life where I witness certain types of riders belittle or demean other people based on their motorcycle choices. And that, like, breaks my heart, dude. It breaks my heart. So I want you to know, always over on this channel, anything that you ride, I don't care if it has 3 wheels, 2 wheels, 1 wheel, I don't care. If you're out here taking the same risk that I am, feeling the same feeling that I feel in my soul when I twist the throttle and hop on this bike, you are my people. Like, hands down, this is how it is. So I guess if I had anything to say out of this video, it's just be kind. What does it matter what people ride? Genuinely, what does it matter to you? How does it affect your life? Not you. I know you're watching and you're like shaking your head like you agree with me. But the people that are watching who don't understand individuality and who don't understand different preferences, what does it matter? I genuinely don't understand how so many people can spend their life concerned with others. It's mind-boggling. Like, you hate loud bikes? That's fine. I love my loud bike. But anyway, I'm gonna keep that pretty short and sweet. That's the reason why I think bikers suck. And again, it's just those select few who just are so uncultured that they can't open their eyes and see the actual possibilities and the options that exist in the motorcycling community. And I'm sad for you guys. because you are the ones who are just out there doing the same old bar hopping bullshit, getting drunk with your buddies and riding home and having nothing to show for your life except the profile picture of your motorcycle on Facebook. And if that's all you want, that's fine, man. You do you, but do not belittle anyone else for it, because I will not stand for that shit. Oh. I'm interested to know, because like I said, a lot of these comments I get are online and it feels fake, but is there any circumstance that has happened to you in real life that you heard one biker say to another that just totally blew your mind? Either it was unethical, uncalled for, or just downright rude. I am so curious, morbid curiosity, to read some of your stories. So please leave a comment down below if you have a story like that. And with that, guys, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. That's why bikers suck. For the most part, bikers are rad and the best thing that's ever happened to me. So love you so much. Be sure to check out this video right here because I know you're going to absolutely love it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. You be good.